In this lesson, we'll wrap up level 1 and talk about your assignment before proceeding to the next level. So let's take a look at what we've got so far. So we've got two subtools. One is this rocky sort of terrain in a circular shape, and another is this circular base with a little bit of a tapered top. And we've got both subtools here. One thing that I want to check real quick is we turn on the floor, we'll see that this is actually in ZBrush upside down. And so what we can do if we come across a model that we have and we've built it upside down in ZBrush, when we're working here in ZBrush, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, but we could flip this over. So a real easy way to do that would be to go and select one of the subtools, and let's go down to deformation, and we're going to go to rotate. I'm going to choose the X axis, and let's just put 180 degrees in there. So that's going to rotate this subtool, and then all we have to do is click this little button, repeat to other, and that'll repeat whatever we did in the deformation subpalette to our other subtools. So then we've got that flipped over. It's nice, ready to go. Okay, so if you remember or recall what we've done to this point, we took in, we created some basic primitive geometry for this cylinder. We took a look at subdividing that cylinder, and we decided that maybe it would be better to get a cleaner surface on the top, so we used remesh to create that cleaner shape. So it left us with a cylinder shape, and you notice that right down here, but it left us with a cleaner topology on the top to be able to sculpt from. We then subdivided it, used different sculpt tools to shape it up. We used some strokes and alphas to create some interesting detail. Then we combined it, and we appended another primitive onto there to be sort of this metal base for it, and this is where we are right now. So the what I want you to do at this point is, okay, you've got this model, you've got the one that you've been following along with, you've got your ground plane here, you've also got your base. What I want you to do is create your own now. So I want you to, at the end of this level or before you start level 2, I want you to have two assets. And I want them both to have one piece of ground like this. It doesn't have to be the same. In fact, I encourage you to play around with it and do something a little bit different than you did in this one. This will accomplish a few different things. And the first thing it'll accomplish is, when you're completely done with this playlist or this sort of learning path going through ZBrush, you'll not only have the asset that we are building, but you'll actually have your own asset that you build along with it as well. So, assuming that you follow along and do the assignments at the end of this learning path, you'll have two assets, which is really valuable. You'll have completed that work twice, and you'll get that much more experience and that much more work into ZBrush. And you also have the tangible products. You'll not only have one, but you'll have two. It also really teaches you to think through the tools that you're using. So it's one thing to go through and follow along and create something with me. It's a completely different thing to think about what you've learned and apply it to your own model on your own. So that's really going to be valuable to you. Now, obviously, I can't make you go through and do that, but I really encourage you to do it. If you take if you're serious about learning ZBrush, it's going to be, I think, a really valuable thing for you to do. And it's going to be fun too, because you get to kind of do your own thing. You don't have to match mine. You can create your own model here within some parameters. So want it to be kind of the same. It doesn't even have to be the same shape really. If you want to make it circular, that can take some of the guesswork out of the equation, and you can make the base the same. But as far as the rock and the stone go, you can sculpt your own custom model for that. So what I want to happen is at the end of this and before you start level 2, you'll have this completed, and you'll also have another that's similar but different completed. And then we'll follow that along parallel with parallel paths going through this process. So hopefully that makes sense. You'll have one that you follow along with me, and then one that you follow along creating on your own, making it completely custom to what you want. Okay, so at this point, I encourage you to finish up the detailing, any detailing that you want on this particular model. It's okay, this penetration is okay at this point, because we'll be adding detail to this base as we go through the next course. Okay, so finish that up, and then between now and when you begin level 2, I want you to go ahead and make your own. So again, going through the same process, build up this ground, add the base to it, and then we will meet up again starting in level 1. So it's been a great hour and a half or so going through this initial starting point into ZBrush. In the next course, we'll continue on looking at some of the more advanced features in ZBrush and just continue on with the process of learning this great application. So we'll see you next.